Alright folks, how you doing? Okay, so we've got a box, a nice old toolkit. Well, it's not that old, you know, maybe 90s this enters service or something. Box from the Royal Air Force. This would have contained, as it says in the front, reaction block set. Yeah, you can see the pictures of the blocks. These are dollies or bucking bars, as they're also called. They are anvils, basically, for solid riveting aircraft back together. Yeah, and this is a specific set, so we've got a couple of them here too. They're pretty standard shapes, and then the rest of them, the other 6 are pretty peculiar shapes, and would have been used in this set for the repair or modification or specific job in some area of a specific aircraft. And I don't know which. I don't know. I just got the box, not the set of dollies. But yeah, that's the history of this box. Yeah. Anyway, what we're going to do with this box, I wanted to make a more inclusive first aid kit for my family. Yeah. Wanted a nice strong box, and decided this would make a great first aid kit. Because of its history, I figured the best way to partition it off into a usable first aid kit was to solid rivet some here's some nice aluminium dividers and hinged compartments into this box. It's a solid rivet, some nice compartments into this solid riveting box. Mostly because that was how I used to make my bread and butter, nailing crash damaged light aircraft back together. Yeah. Alright, it'll be fun, folks, right? Okay, when dealing with unwanted remnants of contact adhesive, the best thing is 3M solvent number 2, but I haven't got any, unfortunately. So what we're going to use instead is cellulose thinners, which does work, it just takes a lot longer, and it's a bit dodgier using it on unknown surfaces. Okay, so we're slowly lifting the glue off with the tissue paper. Okay, so I've got a few sheets cut out. 3 of them. Why 3? Well, let me explain. Alright, so what we're going to have on one side is easy access for the most commonly used things, and I want to house all my dressings and plasters and that, like, in these plastic wallets to stop them getting scummed up. So in order to hold the plastic wallets, we're making a little frame. I've already taken the liberty of knocking this up. Solid rivets and aluminium. I used to have fucking tons of gear to do this. I sold it to my boss when I left the airfield. These are just sort of Chinese field rivets. Field rivets, they're soft all the time until you work them, and they get a bit harder with work. Sometimes that's a problem if you go at them light. They'll harden up as you're working them, you know, which gets problematic. But generally speaking, they're the easiest to use, and you know, in factories and that on assembly lines, they have you know, they precipitate the rivets, i.e. they basically cook them in salts, soften them up to work them, and then they age harden over the next fortnight. So you know, if they were to put an aircraft together in a day and fly it, then it'd probably fall to bits, wouldn't it? Anyway, so yeah, I'm not actually riveted with this. This is just a pneumatic hammer, isn't it? Little baby thing. And what you can rivet with these, normally you want to put a regulator on there, because you heard that, you know, at full bore, it's it'll fucking go straight through a bit of alley. So this has got quite a nice figure on it though. I might. Quite controllable, so I'm not going to bother putting a regulator on that. Probably going to be a mistake and I'll regret it, but whatevs. Let's get this hinge mounted.
Were used last used in World War II. Went back to them under Stalin, number 227, and I presume that in actually Sweden's loading process. 2 loads of special stamps. On SOM, then 16 rounds per minute.
Okay, so I've got the lids on, and these little catches, they work quite nicely. They're just what's this old steel packing banding, yeah, and just bent up. Clipped down quite nicely. Little box done, and the majority of stuff's going to be held in there. This is the quick access, commonly used stuff. Yeah, so all the you know, all my bits and bobs like plasters and safety pins or whatever else can go in these, and go around the box. And then I've got this side, you know, the three staples of the diet. I think maybe I'll have to have, yeah, do like a bit of vet wrap, but I think maybe that will stay off the front. I'll just try and get as much of a roll of cotton pads there as possible, and of course the TCB. Yeah, that's the you know, the most important thing in any first aid kit. So what?
Mistake, but it didn't matter because Russia would soon have a new president. This was widely reported as Biden saying that they intended to overthrow Putin. What that misses, of course, is there are multiple Wagner-linked Telegram channels controlled by different individuals. And as defences were prepared around the city of Moscow, Prigozhin himself made no...
Look at this, hey? We can get the cotton out of there without even removing the tube from the holder. That's not going anywhere. And what? Oh. Dedicated TCP pouch, eh? Perfect. Okay, so we've got a panel made up for this side. We'll do the bottom next, and because we need to bond the bottom in, and we'll bond the tops in as well, but we need to bond the bottom in before we can actually finish it. So it makes sense to do that now. Bottom is going to be hardware, yeah. So on the cover, we'll have the normal bits that we want quick access to. So a couple of bandage scissors and you know, some wee little forceps for doing splinters and whatnot, yeah. And then underneath we'll have the stuff that will scare the missus. You know, the sharp scissors and the I don't know. I've only got these like you know, I don't think any of the kids will be stupid enough to choke on anything, but God forbid, yeah, I'd like the ability to try and do something about it, wouldn't I? Anyway, yeah, you know, other less common stuff can go on the bottom, but these will be attached to the fold up lid. Yeah?
Really important not only to all those people suddenly without jobs now on welfare, and there's no money in the Russian government, as we've been talking about last week, you've got that issue, and all the supply to those, so they're not gone to.
Okay, so we've got the hinge plate and latch plate bonded into the bottom of this case. This side's bonded in. Last thing we've got to do is make a box for this side. I want a completely enclosed box for the less everyday stuff, yeah. Things like cling film. Got this out. This is probably the biggest thing we'll be putting in there. Cling film's ever such good thing. Good stuff to have in a first aid box. We got put onto it at work with the crash response at the airfield. Yeah, we did quite a bit of training every year, and what it was an ex-army guy that said, yeah, cling film really is the best thing you can have for things like burns, where we're not going to do anything about it as initial responders, and whatever happens, whatever we do is going to get taken off by, you know, by the ambulance crew or the hospital nurses and that. So yeah, but at the same time you definitely want to cover a 3rd degree burn, so that can go straight over the top of clothing or anything else that's burnt into the flesh. You just wrap the whole lot up with cling film and does a super quick job. I ended up using it when someone's arm came off, and there was you know, bits that were still connected but were drying up in the sun and just needed tidying up and that, so the cling film was ever so handy then. Yeah, it's I think a very good thing to have. This is a mini pallet wrap, so not a full size cling film. They're normally quite big, aren't they? I think this is probably a pretty convenient size. I haven't tried this, but that's the only tricky thing with a normal sort of 14-inch wide roll of cling film is a little bit cumbersome. I think that's going to be good. There's some vet wrap, but yeah, that's not very big. I'll probably put a couple of tubes of that in. It's like a self-adhesive bandage. Like my time spent on a stable, like this stuff's pretty easy to wield very quickly. Yeah, and a number of other uses. Like with the kids, it's really hard to keep them under the tap if they get a little burn or something, so just cling filming an ice pack onto them or something like that. You know, the most important thing with a burn is to stop the burning, isn't it? Like, that's what you're doing when you hold your hand under the tap, right? The skin's been heated up really hot, isn't it? And it's still cooking like a potato inside, which is why, you know, why the tap reduces the effects of the burn so significantly, which I'm sure you all know it does. But yeah, it's quite hard with the kids sometimes to get them to stay under the tap. So I guess that's another use for it. So we'll make up the sides of this box. This is 2 bits I cut earlier, and the box will take up the entire side of the case, I guess. So make up sides and partition it and have a little catch on it, I think.
Let's see. Maybe a million, maybe more.
Okay, I've got my sexy box made up. You need a couple of little catches in this. On the corners, I think, is good. I've put a couple of little gussets, little triangular gussets in the corners, so they can take these crappy Chinese quarter turns that I've got. A lot of people call them Deutzes. Not Zeus, not Deutz. Zeus fasteners. These aren't Zeus. These are slightly different to Zeus. Zeus is an S-shaped wire clip at the back. I actually prefer them. They're my favourite sort of quarter turn fastener, the Zeuses. These are more like cam locks, although cam locks have a bit sticking out, but either way, whatever you call this and the cam lock, they both rely on a pretty similar pressed steel back plate, which these are the weakest of the lot of all the quarter turn fasteners, but they're expensive, yo, and this is the cheapest option that came with a D-ring. So this is what we've got on ours, on our box. I'm just wondering, yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the long side, this, unfortunately. Okay, so first aid box is finished. It's a bit tight. I did make a wee dimensional miscalculation on the box, but it all fits together just with a squeeze. Even managed to get the full roll of cotton in there. Let me show you its features, I guess. Okay, so obviously most importantly we've got the TCP rack. We've got the folder pockets here. Probably need to mark up on these wallets what goes in where. I have just left the packaging on this one. You know, that's probably what I'll do. But some of this stuff doesn't have packaging. My safety pins, swabs, film and pad, self-adhesive dressings. They're good. They're good. Very sticky. Very sticky. And some smaller swabs there. Little swabs, good for any number of things, not just dressing, you can clean with them as well. Yeah, I probably don't need 200 safety pins, but you know, if we got them. Butterfly strips, they're good. I do have a load of plasters somewhere. I've got to put them in. I think they're in the first aid box in the house. But is the whole point, getting everything in one place, isn't it? Yeah. The cotton pads are just good for general cleaning around the area. You know, depends how worried you are about things being sterile, I guess. A range of tools here, little mosquito forceps, stainless bandage scissors, and you know, slightly bigger, heavier duty bandage scissors. And then under these we've got the scary stuff. The scary stuff that Mrs. probably doesn't want to see. You know, I've got some nice big emergency foot-long forceps just in case these, some tweezers and some tiny little incredibly sharp scissors that we definitely don't want falling into the wrong hands. They need a little pouch really, I suppose. That's that. And then over on this side, a couple of quarter turns, very nice. Cool pack and clean film, vet wrap, and upper bandages, and alcohol pads, and I do have some sutures, pre-threaded needles. Again, just in case these, I'd rather have them. You know, they're only a couple of quid to get a pack of how many are here? 10 it looks like. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'd sooner look silly and not need them than need them and not have them. Hey, well that's that. Like I say, I've still got to amalgamate the other first aid box into this one, and whatever else is floating around the house. But there we go, and I can just pick it up now and take it on holiday with us and that, can't I? Hey, very good. There we go. So it's my riveted up RAF riveting box conversion to a first aid kit. Yeah, very nice. I do like these boxes. Very tough, reasonably light, and what, they look pretty cool as well. Yeah, sort of Cold War era GRP shiny jobby. very nice. Might be a bit later than that, I don't actually know. Couldn't actually find a date on it, but whatevs. Whatevs. Nah. No date. No date. Anyway, that's that. Hope you enjoyed that. There's 101 other riveted alloy projects I'd like to do, but I don't know. It's finding the time to do them all, isn't it? Arm's great. Yeah. Look at this. No sling for 2 days now. Yeah. It's absolutely ripping. Take it easy. Don't you worry about it. I am taking it easy, but got to get her moving again, haven't we? Otherwise, there's going to be nothing left of this. Look, it's just like half the size it used to be. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Take it all easy, folks. What am I up to? Next video. I mean, there's no point me telling you what the next video is because there's. I never keep to my word, do I? Hey, so look after yourselves, and we'll see you all again soon. All right, cheerio. Bye bye.